Hey everyone, we're going to go through about a 5-minute tutorial of explaining what an API is and why you might want to use one. So without further ado, let's flip my screen around and get started. All right, so we shouldn't need this little window. Put myself up there in the corner so I have plenty of space. All right, so here's the link. I'll include it in the notes below, but excuse me. This is publicly available, so anyone can come here and read through this tutorial. So this is the API tutorial sourcing source history code. It's a quick 5-minute tutorial explaining what an API does and why you might want to use an API. If you run into any problems, you can reach me at my email address here or preferred way on Facebook Messenger. Just easier for me to get back to you on Facebook. So an API, or an application programming interface, enables your program to work with other programs. Why would you want to work with other programs? A lot of time using an API lets you skip having to write the code yourself. They end up being very convenient. So let's step through an example to better explain this. Everyone needs to eat dinner each day. There's a few different options for eating dinner. You could go to the grocery store and pick up whatever you want to eat, cook it at your house, and then clean up afterwards. Or you could go to a restaurant, sit down for a great meal. You don't have to make the food or clean it up. There's a few trade-offs that are inherent in those two decisions, and let's discuss those. If you cook at home every night, you save money because you buy groceries pretty cheap, but you lose time in preparing all the food and cleaning up afterwards. If you eat at a restaurant every night, you save time, but you lose money since you pay a premium to have the food done for you. You can think of an API like this. Typically, using an API has a cost. Not necessarily in monetary value, but it does slow your code down just a little bit. But it does save you hours and hours of coding yourself, similar to how if you made all your food at home every night, you lose time. It's the same way with an API. So using the API, like I just said, is very similar to going to a restaurant, that has a kind of rice you like and ordering it. You don't really have to worry about if the rice is there. You don't have to worry about how to make the rice. Really, you just show up and it's done for you. So there are thousands of APIs we use on a daily basis, but we just don't know about. They operate in the background. Anytime programs or apps, for example, on our iPhone work together, that's an example of an API. So if you open up your Messenger or your text message app on the iPhone and you click take a picture, what is happening in the background is your phone is saying, okay, open the camera with the camera API, take the picture, and then paste the picture back into the message. And that entire flow is triggered with an API. So why might you want to use an API in sourcing? I've got a whole page that I'm about to be done with some specific examples for this, but a high level reason would be to stitch together different data sources specific to your needs. So a lot of times I see people in the sourcing group asking, hey, I need to source this specific type of engineer. If you are fluent with piecing together APIs, you could grab a few different data sources that are great for those engineers, piece them together, and then you wouldn't really have to worry about using 6 or 7 different tools to get that data. It's a very simple explanation, but when I put out this whole page, probably beginning of next week, it'll have a lot more data, a lot more information for you. And why you would want to use those APIs is, like our restaurant example, it could save you a bunch of time. So hopefully this was helpful. Really excited to keep adding to the series. And if anyone has any questions, like always, include contact information up here at the top. So let me know how I can help.